afternoon, live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show, where we begin with a Fox News alert. Day 17 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. No suspects, no sign of Nancy, and all new today, no CODIS hit on the DNA from the glove or from inside the home. That's according to Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos himself in a sit-down with Fox News chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt.
We had heard this morning that, of course, the DNA on the glove that was found 2 miles away was submitted for CODIS, and I just heard that CODIS had no hits.
No hits on the DNA found in the glove?
Correct.
So you are no closer to a suspect as a result of the DNA test, at least?
As a result of CODIS, but we do have somebody's DNA in those gloves.
Is there a match on the DNA in the glove to the DNA, the unknown DNA that you found in the house?
There's no match to the DNA at the house.
So entirely separate DNA?
Correct.
Okay, so that would be, if there's no, is there a CODIS match from the DNA in the house?
No.
So the glove that many hoped would be a major breakthrough, seemingly a dead end. Nothing. As far as DNA found at Nancy's home, the department says that's still being analyzed and needs further testing. So we'll see. Yesterday at this hour, the sheriff put out a statement clearing the Guthrie siblings and their spouses of possible suspects in this case. Today, Jonathan asked the sheriff about that.
You are 100% certain that there is no connection between the kidnapping and the siblings or the siblings' spouses, the Guthrie siblings?
I am completely, I think we put out a statement yesterday. I put it out. 100% certain that this family has been completely victimized, and the re-victimization should not occur, ever.
Not exactly direct, and interesting given the different language used in the update from the Pima County Sheriff's Department today, which reads in part, at this point in the investigation, the Guthrie family, including siblings and spouses, has not been identified as suspects. That reads a bit different than being fully and finally cleared. At least one report has been circulating that the FBI has been going around to gun stores in the Tucson area, showing shop owners a list of 40 people's names and photos, and Sheriff Nanos says, no, that's not the case.
We've heard, for instance, the FBI is asking about 40 people at gun stores.
That's not true.
Okay, so have you narrowed it down to a few dozen, or are we...
We haven't narrowed it down to anything. The story about 40 people, and that makes no sense. Our team definitely would go out and say, here's our Ring camera video, and we know he's armed with a weapon and has a holster that's rather, maybe not identifiable by us yet, but certainly unique. And so we go to the gun store and say, have you seen this video? Does he look familiar? Do you recognize this holster? Is this something you might have sold?
At almost the exact same time he said that, Tucson gun shop owners like this one were telling Fox this.
So I was able to look at the photos that he was showing me, and I told the FBI agent, I was like, I'm no investigator, but my intuition is telling me, based on how these people's facial hair looks like, it looks like the guy that was on camera at that house doing the kidnapping. He was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. He was like, we're going to be going to different gun shops, checking to see if any of these names that I'm showing you here, any of these people have purchased a gun in the last year.
Fox News chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt is outside the Pima County Sheriff's Department, where he conducted that interview today with Sheriff Chris Nanos. Jonathan, what was your biggest takeaway from the interview?
Well, I think the DNA was clearly the headline here, and the fact that, as you put it, well, they appear to have hit something of a dead end. The DNA in the glove, no hit in the FBI's national database. The DNA in the house, no hit on the FBI's national database. And those two DNAs, not a match in themselves. Here's the sheriff again talking about the DNA that was on that one particular glove that they sent for testing. Here he is.
The DNA on the glove that was found 2 miles away was submitted for CODIS, and I just heard that CODIS had no hits.
No hits on the DNA found in the glove?
Correct.
So you are no closer to a suspect as a result of the DNA test, at least.
As a result of Curtis.
So, Will, I also asked the sheriff about this reporting that has been out there, not coming from us, but coming from others, that this whole thing may have been the result of a burglary gone wrong. He was pretty adamant on that too. Listen again.
You just said you believe it's a kidnapping.
I believe it was a kidnapping.
Targeted kidnapping.
Yes, I believe whoever did that knew what they were up to.
So do you believe
knew who they were after?
So, if it was a kidnapping, Will, then you might question, as many have, whether there is a chance that Nancy Guthrie may have been taken 60 miles south from Tucson to the Mexico border and perhaps taken across there. I put that point to the sheriff as well. Listen here.
Any suggestion at all that Nancy Guthrie might have been taken across the border into Mexico? Are you looking at that at all?
You know, I'm sure the FBI's looked into that as well, but no, I mean, we check all the leads we have. We're like everybody else. We know where Mexico is in relationship to this, and certainly it's a possibility, but no, we have nothing to indicate that.
So, Will, to summarize the wide-ranging interview we had with the sheriff, it might be harsh to say that he believes, or he gives the indications that they're back at square one, but I would have to say, in the terms of the number of squares they've moved forward, you'd certainly put it in the low single digits at the moment, Will.
Jonathan, did the sheriff give any credence at all to ransom notes that have come in? Does he feel like any of the ransom notes are valid or credible?
I asked him exactly that question, Will. His answer to that was, I'm not the expert in the ransom notes. That's something for the FBI. They're looking into whether they are real, and basically it doesn't seem that anybody has decided whether those are 100% authentic or 100% inauthentic right now. So, but the sheriff was quick to point out that is not his department's area of expertise. That is the FBI, and we've heard very little since the initial reporting on the ransom notes from the FBI, Will.
I guess what I'm left to wonder, Jonathan, is if he doesn't have a credible ransom note, how does he rule out two other possibilities? He has largely, although it appears to be a little bit of a backtrack today, ruled out the involvement of any of the family, siblings or their spouses. He also, in that conversation with you, very clearly ruled out a burglary gone wrong. You pressed him, he said it is his belief it is a targeted kidnapping. What kind of kidnapping do you have without a credible ransom note? What's the point of the kidnapping?
Murder.
Right.